off, you spooky bitch.
All right, you wackaloons that are watching right now, thank you for being here live with me for another edition, the first edition of the new year, the Ray Hyclak Show. A lot to get to today. Big news, UFC is back on Paramount Plus. We'll be talking about that. Tank Davis is on the run. We'll discuss that a little bit more in detail. Plus, we're supposed to be on last week. Gonna give a little bit of an honest note on that as well. But hopefully you guys enjoy what I'm talking about today, because also I got a review of the new movie, or the new movie version of Stephen King. I'm not going to say Richard Bachman's Running Man. And it does a lot of the opposite of what it wants to do, but because it doesn't understand what it's doing. And we'll talk more about that coming up in the movie review segment. But we are live, Ray Hyclak Show, here every single Sunday night. Apologize, by the way, first off, to who was supposed to be my guest, Bill Stone, last week. Apologize for that. Been having a fucked up sleep schedule lately, a really bad, not very kind to me right now sleep schedule. Been off and on sleeping during the day, I'll be up all night. I've been really depressed as of late, especially since I quit my job due to just mental health issues. It sucks, but it is what it is. Hopefully you guys are having a decent start to 2026. I have not. It's been kind of hell. But you know what you can do to help me through this hell? Watch every single Sunday. Notifications on, fuckos. That's why we're here. Okay? That is why we are here, to be fuckos and watch this show and watch me make this show, because show is all about the world that is mine, and also hopefully the world that is yours as well. But yeah, we're here. I'm back. 2026. Starting out a little rough, obviously, with the last couple weeks. We're not going to get into any of that, because honestly, it's been beaten over the head for the past week. And I don't know if you guys are like me, but I've got fatigue over all of this bullshit. I've gotten to the point where looking at world news and even U.S. events, you wanna kind of smash your phone at this point, because both left, right are insane. You read the comments some people make, and then you read comments from the other side, and people need Jesus, dude. Like all sides need some kind of hobby, I think, at this point. Not just work. We need to really invest in hobbies. Not trading card hobby, because that's not a real hobby. I'm sorry. You're spending money on cards and shit. Go do something physical. Go do something out of the ordinary physical that you wouldn't really ever do, but you try. you definitely try. And it's just like, man, you look at the world, you look at how everybody is just being treated. It's not good, kids. It's not fucking good. Man, what a life. What a life we all lead in this just complete and utter nonsense of the world right now. And you kind of have to just, I don't even know how to really describe it, to be honest. It's we all just need to step the fuck back. I mean, Jake Lang getting almost mobbed the other day was kind of crazy. The woman in Minnesota shouldn't have been there, shouldn't have happened. And everything's starting to pop off. That's why I said, if you go back and watch my episode from the 14th, I want to say, where I did do the predictions for 2026, I'm pretty on brand right now. Pretty on brand. The only thing I haven't gotten correct yet, I think, is UFC 250 or the USA 250. That hasn't been really talked about. Dana's making the plans as we speak, and I don't see it going off as planned. I do not see a fight at the White House. I do not see it happening. With all the shit going on, I don't see that happening. So we'll see, getting closer to July, getting closer to the actual numbered event that is USA 250 presented by the Ultimate Fighting Championship. I think is going to be more at the Capital One Arena than it is going to be at any other space in the United States. It's not going to be at the White House. If you think it's going to be at the White House and they're going to have 86,000 people enjoying mixed martial arts safely without heavy military presence, heavy riot squad presence, like layer upon layer of an onion that's just going to stink in the end and rot, be my guest of thinking you're going to be a part of that 86,000 on the opposite side of the White House, because it's not happening. Sorry, it's just not going to happen. And it's, it's sad. It would have been fun to watch that, but like you'd be better off going to where the Generals play and doing it there than you do the White House. Pure and simple, kids. Pure and simple. I got to close some of these. Some of these I'm not even going to get to today because it's just jam packed. We got to talk UFC 324. I think that's going to be right off the rip on the stories of the day. But I do want to shout out real quick Levi Davis, Church Boy, for having me at the VFW show last night in Willoughby. Fucking amazing. A lot of the people from Malarkey's came over. A lot of people that support Abraham Drinking like you should. I want to say thank you as well to Abraham Drinking for letting me use their platform on the regular. Go check them out. They have a shit ton of events that are going to be fun to be a part of. Shout out to Jimmy Ward and Tree for being on earlier. Great shows, both of them together. They're awesome. Separately, they are amazing as well, but Tree's a little bit more amazing. And the Men Award's great. They had a great guest on today. And then you got me, the 9 p.m. slot, which might be changing soon to 8. Thinking about doing this at 8 o'clock. That way I can kind of, because I don't get bookings I don't do comedy on Sundays. It's just, unless I'm going to an open mic, but even then I'm getting old for the mics. But I had a great time last night at the VFW show. John Huff, Ebony was on that show. Skylar from the Men Award, she was there. And then Brandon B. White, Big B. White, he was there, along with a really odd wedding proposal. at the end of the show, I don't know who the guy was, but apparently there was so what had happened was somebody decided to get married, and I honestly was waiting for my girl. It was the end of the show, waiting for my girl to get out of the bathroom. So I thought. I didn't know she actually went to go throw shit out and got put in that storm. That's why you never help people. Never help people on any level. When it comes to cleaning up and shit, don't be that person, because you get caught up in awkward wedding proposals. And so we had to kind of back out of that. But watching a drunk wedding proposal at a comedy show is like watching a car crash at the Daytona 500. It fits the scenario perfectly. Just it goes hand in hand, because you got a microphone, you got a drunk, confident guy with a fucking rock in his pocket, waiting to give it to the woman who doesn't know. I don't even know if this broad likes him or not. She said, I think, yes. But like the way the dude also said, like, I'm getting married, was really high pitch. It was kind of funny to see a dude who, like, masculine as fuck looking, and then just being like, I'm getting married. Yeah, like Wayne County life, fucking just combing frontwards as Caesar or whatever. But yeah, watching a weird wedding proposal after a good comedy show. I mean, a very good comedy show. Vibes were high. Everything was rolling. But then that fucking thing at the end was just like, what the fuck am I a part of? I just got out of there as fast as I could. I got roped in for photos, but I was hopefully, trying to get out of there, not gonna lie. Because after comedy shows, I like to just bounce. Like after I do a set, I like to just completely bounce my ass into my car, go home, hit some YouTube, hit some Skate 4, hit, some GTA Online, or even Fortnite, video game my ass off until I go to sleep at 3 a.m. now. So there's that. But great show all around for Church Boy and the VFW crew. Hopefully there's plans of that going on the road. I want to be a part of it. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'd love that. I'd love to be able to get the thing. I'd stay in my own car at that point. Just pay me for gas money and I'll sleep in my car in the back seat. I don't give a fuck. Let's go. Oh, make sure to like, share, subscribe. Do what it says up top. Do what it says up top. Do what it says. Whew. Oh man. So yeah, it's been a weird month. But I thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching every single week. The people that do, you're just awesome. You're amazing. You're amazing people. And I can't say any more thank you. Hopefully this year, 2026, is going to be sort of the rise of this show a little bit. And I'm going to be doing a lot more content, a lot more UFC content, a lot of boxing content, especially if Zuffa Boxing. I don't know if that's going to be on Paramount Plus or not. I hope it is. That would be so dope. Move Power Slap over there. I would love to just make this channel a Power Slap channel so bad. But yeah, and also January 24th, next Saturday. I've cleared my calendar from 5, or my planner from 5 to midnight, 7 to 8 hours of mixed martial arts on this channel, on Abraham Drinking, on Twitch, all the places. This coming Saturday, UFC 324, from asshole to appetite. I am covering it all. And it's going to basically be not for, I'll have show clips and stuff like that too. I'm going to start pulling show clips to play in between longer things, because there's going to be knockouts this on Saturday. We know this. I mean, Derrick Lewis is on the fucking card versus Waldo. What the fuck's his name? Waldo. We'll get into it, but Waldo Cortes-Acosta, both guys, heavy fucking hitters. So we got that. But you know what we should do, kids? Before we talk about Running Man, before I talk about anything, we should talk about UFC 324 coming up this Saturday night, Paramount Plus, free in the United States. Finally, we actually get quality American programming for free. No more premium. It's a freemium live event, baby. UFC 324 live in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. You will be seeing some mixed martial arts quality at its finest. It's a packed fucking card. I mean, this card, we'll run down it here in a minute, and I'll also talk about my tap out or my goat milk picks as well. I'm joining the Goat Milk League over at the MMAholes.tv. Shout out to the MMA Holes and the powerful MMA Holes community over there. You guys rule. Shout out to Moss and JBM. Those guys are awesome. Go check out Gummy Gang too. Go check out Gummy Gang. So we're gonna start. We're gonna start the show topics today with a little bit of sports ball. It's sports ball, bitches, and that's right. It's a new year, new time, platform. Everything about the UFC is going to be different this year. 2026 is a year of change for the mixed martial arts giant. Obviously, in the last couple of years, we've had some really big things happen as well. In the MMA world, we've gotten some rule changes. We've gotten some heavy hits with the 12-6 elbow being allowed. But now we got a time change for UFC fights. We're going to be starting at 5 for the early prelims, and then also 7 o'clock for prelims. It was usually 8 o'clock that they would do prelims, do 2 hours of that. But now what they're doing is 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. UFC fight cards main cards will be starting at 9. We're not having 10 p.m. Pay-per-view times. Finally, Dana has woken the fuck up and actually, had the idea. Let me move. That's kind of pissing me off a little bit. Where is it? There it is. No, that's not what I wanted. There we are. I'm gonna put that over here. There we are. Why is that not? Oh, you got to be kidding me. Stupid. What's up, Jimmy? Good to see you. Just talking some MMA. Share this out. Share this, Jimmy. Get more people. Shout out to Jimmy Ward in the mental ward. You were funny last night. You were very, 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 very funny. All right, let's move that. I got to produce the show as it's going, kids. That's how we do this. There we are. A little better. Should have checked this bullshit when I fucking had the chance. Oh, I see. I know why. Okay. That's an error on my part. That's an error in judgment on my part there. All right. Not what I wanted. It's too low. There we are. Perfect. We're getting it going. Kids. But when you see the fist next to the name, and you're a UFC fan, make sure to go to this website, the MMAholes.tv. As you can see the logo. Let me see if the logo is plain view there. All right, the MMAholes.tv. Go check them out. They are one of the best MMA-centric channels. They're kind of dormant right now, like I am with the MMA content, because we just don't have anything to talk about. I mean, there's news, there's bullshit, but finally we can actually talk about MMA again on a worldwide basis, at least, not just local, not just all this shit, because they're starting to come back. We've had karate combat events. We've had a few other things, which I will be hitting those more in the 2026 year, just because I like doing commentary for those, for fight cards of any kind of thing. I'm going to do some UFC BJJ this year. I just got to be on top of schedules. That's all I got to be on top of this year. I got to set reminders for shit that's going to be on so we can cover it. We might do Dana White's Contender Series too. I hear at the show, I think that'd be a fun thing to do, because I've been neglecting that. So Tuesdays might be a good time to just fuck around and have a good time. Once Contender Series starts picking up again. It's no longer the UFC Apex, it's the Meta Apex now. So we got Zuckerberg going in with his nerd money and buying up fucking naming rights to a building in Las Vegas, kids. Woo! 2026, eh? Fuck. All right. And I have a quest. I have a Meta Quest 3. I'm trying to figure out how to actually set this thing up so we can have me in a digital studio with an avatar. I want to figure that out. That's going to be a big challenge that I'm going to put for myself this year, is how do I stream from my Meta Quest of an avatar in a studio, sitting down and just talking bullshit in the metaverse, but I can still stream it to YouTube and do VTube stuff, but have some fun with it. Anyway, here we are. Finally, we've been waiting for about a month now, since the first week of December is the last time we got to actually watch any UFC. But now the Americans, we don't have to pay for it. If you paid the premium, I got a year's worth of Paramount Plus. So, like, the premium high-end fucking tier for a year, because I wanted to get every UFC event. We're going to stream those every single Saturday. I'm going to shove that down your throats a lot tonight to advertise. January 24th, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be going live to cover UFC 324. And the week after is 325. So we got another fucking show after that in New Zealand, I think, Auckland. I have everything set up for that too. I got my backgrounds. I'm going to be doing all kinds of interesting techie bullshit to try and get myself going in a different direction with creativity on this platform. But it's time. And also, again, if you get a chance, go to MMAholes.tv, hit up their Goat Milk League. It's a prediction pick'em league. I'm participating in it this year, and I think you guys should too. I can set up a league, and we can do Goat Milk together and have our own league to fuck around with, and create something. But if not, we can do Tapology. I don't give a fuck. Oh, God. I don't have chat on this one. Yay, got shared. Thank you, Jimmy. Go watch the Mental Ward, bitches. Have some fun. All right. But, yeah, we've been waiting. We have been waiting. When was the last card? Let's take a look at that before we actually get into the predictors. Can I look at past events? 2026. No, I want 2025. There we are. December 13th. So we're about 5 days over a month since the last time, which was Royval Cop, which was on my channel. We did a live reaction. That was the same night as John Cena's retirement match. So go check those out on my channel at Ray Hyclak, at the Ray Hyclak Show. And so December 13th was the last time any of us got to actually watch mixed martial arts in a way that would be beneficial to our brains, beneficial to everything that is mixed martial arts. But this is a big one. This card is fucking stacked. I mean, even look at like the prelims. The prelims, my guys. Deiveson, Figueiredo, Umar Nurmagomedov. That's huge. Then we got Pulev versus Gautier. Modestus Bukauskas. He's going to be back. The Bukauskas is here to enjoy all the fighting all over his face. He's going to be taking on Nikita Krylov, who's a savage in his own right. Charles Johnson, loved him in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Absolutely loved him. Taking on Alex Perez. Early prelims, Alexander Hernandez and Michael fucking Johnson are on the early prelims. Dude. Some of these are going to be some of these unknowns. I just made these. Ty Miller, he's undefeated, so I'm going to put him on there. I can't even say his name, versus Cameron Smotherman. These are not the fights that we really give a fuck about, but I do want this one. Alexander Hernandez, Michael Johnson, two guys who are kind of rough right now. Let me look at Michael Johnson's current record here. Let's just take a look at that. Let's see what his last. He's been on a 4. He's 4 of his last 5. He's got 1 loss to Diego Ferreira back in 2023, but he's been on a bit of a fucking win streak. Good for him. Taking on. Did I lose all my fucking thing? No, I did not. Cool. All right. And Hernandez, let's take a look at Hernandez's record real quick as well. Just taking a look on MMA Holes. I mean, he's got a 4-fight win streak right now. That's why this is the featured prelim of the new year, or featured early prelim, I should say. With him taking out Hubbard, and actually Ferreira lost to Hernandez as well. So both men have Ferreira as an opponent that they can both, we can look at where they've been. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of fun, guys. Charles Johnson, Alex Perez, Modestus Bukauskas versus Krylov. I think Krylov's going to win it by decision. Pulev versus Teba Gutwala. What was that? Oh my. Oh, those are the betting odds. Okay. Dang it. All right, UFC. Let's go back down to that, because I do want to bring up the betting, because the betting's wild right now. Betting is wild for the main card. Let's see. Where's the main card here? Trying to find the actual fucking main card, kids. Why is this not working? I just had a bunch of. Yeah, let's take a look. Wait, this is bullshit. My bookie doesn't have. Oh, okay. This is the main events. Main events of the evening. Because some of these lines are crazy, and if you don't get in on them, I'm gonna question your fucking sanity here. I really am. Because I want to just real quick. We got even like the featured prelim of this card is Deiveson Figueiredo versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Both guys were at one point tops of their division. I mean, Umar was I believe was a champion, yeah? Oh, Nurmagomedov. I can't remember, dude. I can barely remember what I did fucking yesterday. All right, but which he has not been, but he has been a perennial contender for sure. Nurmagomedov has. Deiveson Figueiredo, king of the bantamweights, had one of the best series of fights against Moreno. 4 fights in a row. They battled it out during the pandemic over the 125-pound belt, and Figueiredo moved up to bantamweight. Now he's going to take on, I think the number 1 in the world is Umar. Yeah, where does he rank? See if the MMA holes have this. See what you got, Mas. See what you got. You don't have his fucking ranking. How dare you? How dare you? Although he's 4-1. He lost to Merab Dvalishvili for the belt. He lost to him when he was supposed to be. So this is basically going to be a title contender eliminator fight. Deiveson Figueiredo looking to become a 2-weight world champion. Could happen. Could fucking happen. Petr Yan, he's sitting up top that 135 right now after beating Dvalishvili last month. So could be a fucking thing. Let's see what my bookie here is on Figueiredo and why can't I see it? Oh my god. Here it is. This is one of the fights that if you were going to do a parlay, this should be one of your parlay bets. I'm going to tell you right now. I honestly think my bookie, let's see what BetMGM has. Let's go to BetMGM. I'm trying to find it. Here we are. MGM's smoking crack right now. We haven't seen the weigh-ins, by the way. Usually the line, it's an early start to the week. We'll I'll put a video up to kind of put together what the betting lines are post the weigh-ins on Friday. And but that's a fucking line right there where I'd put $10 just on a 3-fight parlay where it's Figueiredo has to be one of them. He is a dog. He is an absolute beast. Not saying Umar Nurmagomedov isn't. Not saying that Umar is not a beast himself, a perennial contender at 135. But you're facing a former world champion, Deiveson Figueiredo, a man who had been through a lot of wars last couple years, last decade, pretty much. But for him to be plus 850 right now is a fucking travesty. Fucking travesty. So it's going to be probably, I might put money down on a 3-leg parlay because some of these bets right now are insane. Some of these bets that are going on, I want to get this line set for myself before there's any shift. Lock in these potentials because it might happen. Don't take gambling advice from me, by the way. I'm just giving an opinion. I'm not a bookmaker. I'm not an odds maker. Gamble responsibly. Do all the bullshit that they tell you in the fucking commercials, kids, because if you don't, you'll ruin your life. But Deiveson Figueiredo at an 850 underdog. And then what the hell does thing have for the fight lines? There we are. Trying to find. No, I don't want that. I want Deiveson Figueiredo, Nurmagomedov. Let's see. It's the same. I mean, who makes these lines so early out so big? I know you're trying to attract guys like me who see that and go, come the fuck on. I'll bet that now. Because, again, I'd be happy to be wrong against Nurmagomedov. Because Nurmagomedov, absolute savage. But I think it's my bookie's got the 2,000, minus 2,000 thing. Yeah, it's my bookie here. Hold on. Let me bring up this tab. $2,000 or 2,000 under minus 2,000 favorite to win this. Could happen. I'm not gonna lie. Nurmagomedov's a very skilled grappler, but I don't see it happening. Jean Silva versus Arnold Allen. I got Arnold Allen winning by decision on that one. Jean Silva loves to wear the glasses out, loves to be an angry little nerd. He could possibly beat Arnold Allen, but I think it's going to be a point match, and Arnold Allen's going to get his hands raised. Rose Namajunas, another one. I think. Let's see what my bookie has on this one. Natalia Silva is a 400, a +4 or -400 betting favorite. Again, these can shift and go through. Matches can be completely changed overnight. We just had that with Amanda Nunes and Caitlin. What's her name? Oh God, Nunes versus no, not that. 324. Kayla Harrison. That's right. Kayla Harrison. We just had that back out. It's still early, but I would, if you're going to be a betting person, I'd bet Natalia Silva wins against Rose Namajunas. Rose is kind of on the downslope. Hasn't really been. I mean, what's her record been recently? It's not great. I don't think she's been on a streak at all. But we shall see what little Rose's. I mean, she's of her last 5, she's 3-2, but she's also in her last 6 lost 3 out of 3 out of 6. So, and Erin Blanchfield took her decision. She won by decision against Miranda Maverick. And she hasn't fought since June. So it's been 6-7 months now. And I think that's going to be a fight that I think Rose is not going to win this because Natalia Silva, let's see what she's gone through with everything on her record. I mean, she is on a tear right now. Look at this. Alexa Grasso, former world champion. Jessica Andrade beat her by decision. Vivian Araujo, decision. Andrea Lee, Victoria Leonardo knocked TKO'd her. Teresa Bleda knocked to TKO. She's on a streak. So I honestly think if Rose wants to play spoiler, she can. Do I think it's possible for her to do this in this stage of her career? No. So I got Natalia Silva winning this contest and hopefully really going up the flyweight division. Now I have what I like to call a travesty of justice right now. A travesty of justice, and you don't put respect, and you're not respecting the man, the myth, the legend. Sure, he's 40 years old. Sure, Waldo Cortes-Acosta, 36 years younger, 1 inch taller, 4 pounds heavier. But Derrick Lewis has a 1 inch reach advantage, my friends. 1 inch reach advantage on Waldo Cortes-Acosta. What does that mean? It means if Derrick Lewis really wants to play, Derrick Lewis really wants to throw hands on Main Street against Waldo, he's going to fucking do it. And what's really kind of wild to me, by the way, really wild about this fight, Derrick Lewis versus Waldo Cortes-Acosta, is the betting lines. Currently, I'll show you the fucking betting lines right now because this is no respect. Where is it? I'm trying to find Derrick Lewis. There we are. It's right below Sean O'Malley and thing, which makes no sense to me, but whatever. It got moved up. But check these lines out. 269. Let's see. Let's refresh this page. Nope. Still the same. 269 underdog. Derrick Lewis is a 269 underdog. Yes, Waldo Acosta could possibly take the beast down and this fight's over. I get it. But the first 3 minutes of this fight is going to be probably Derrick Lewis putting on a storm against Waldo Acosta. And Derrick Lewis has done a lot more with bigger guys. I mean, we all remember the Curtis Blades knockout. We all remember that. How he just uppercutted Curtis Blades' soul out of his fucking body, sent him up to heaven with a fucking milk in his hand and told him to have a nice rest on the steps of heaven. Because you can't tell me that Derrick Lewis, let's see what Derrick Lewis is on 260 underdog on BetMGM. 260 underdog with Acosta being a minus 325 favorite. All right. Let's see how DraftKings has lost their fucking mind, shall we? Let's put where is that Derrick Lewis line? Where could it be? I want to show you how stupid they are. And I think this is going to change. So lock it in. Lock it in, kids. Lock this choice in because I think we might make some cash on this. And that's the Black Beast, Derrick Lewis, on DraftKings. 280 underdog. 280 underdog against Waldo Cortes-Acosta. One of the biggest power punchers in MMA history is a plus 280 underdog. I'm betting that. I'm betting that in a heartbeat, bro. Nothing more, nothing less will come out of my wallet but $10 for that. Deiveson Figueiredo and probably Paddy Pimblett, if I'm really being honest. Paddy Pimblett's got a good shot of beating Justin Gaethje this weekend. We'll talk about that here in a sec. But yeah, look at the disrespect from people with Derrick Lewis. The fucking audacity of these people for not having him as a even I could understand underdog, but 280? Lock that shit up. Lock it up because it's probably going to happen. I mean, Sean O'Malley even, I'd give Song Yadong a chance to fuck up Sean O'Malley. Not going to lie. That's a big fight right there with a bantamweight, you know, it could be Sean O'Malley versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Could happen. Could happen, kids. But I see Sean O'Malley, I think, is going to win this fight. I think he's gonna piece up Song Yadong for a little while, play with his food, and we're gonna be gone probably around like the 4th round. I think it's gonna be probably 4th round TKO. I don't see a submission, but I definitely see TKO being the story of the day, everybody. And then we got this. Paddy Pimblett, Justin Gaethje, the interim world lightweight championship on the line, the second person in line, or the first person in line to get a real title shot after the coming up here with Ilia Topuria with his legal troubles that he's fucking going through. Which I really haven't been following, I'm not going to lie. But this has opened up for a chance for Paddy to give Dana what he wants, which is a belt around his waist, and Justin Gaethje to try and silence critics. I mean, he's sort of like a Dustin Poirier. He's sort of like a Michael Chandler. He's a guy who hasn't really had much luck or success under the bright lights when it really matters. I mean, he's had some chances. He's won big fights, but when it comes to like title fights, he's always just a step behind his opponent. And you can't do that with Paddy. You cannot give Paddy Pimblett an ounce of weakness, or he is going to take you, break you, and make you his bitch. And then we've seen that. We've seen that with a lot of really top tier fighters. And for, Paddy Pimblett to be, I think he is the favorite currently on all the apps, including my bookie. Let's see. Where are you, buddy? Where are you? Yeah, he's a plus 233 or a minus 233. He's minus 235. And I believe, let's see, and about minus 230 on DraftKings. So for him to do that, Las Vegas is looking at him to win. It could be by any form with Paddy. We've seen Paddy Pimblett do sadistic, crazy shit and hasn't really lost to many guys. So he's one of those fighters. I mean, let's go down the roster. Hasn't fought since April against Michael Chandler. And he beat him by submission, beat Bobby Green handily by submission, choked him out where he was just out cold. Tony Ferguson, I don't really count that one. Jared Gordon submitted Jordan Levitt. Vargas, he submitted. Pretty much has been on a tear ever since then. Hasn't lost in the UFC yet. And it's looking like, Paddy the Baddy might finally solidify himself in professional mixed martial arts as a god. I mean, and when you look at Paddy too, very charismatic guy, doesn't really give a shit, and you can tell he just wants to get in there, brawl it out, win by any means necessary. And same thing with Justin Gaethje is one of the most savage human beings on the planet. But let's take a look at his win-loss record right now. As said by the MMAholes.tv. Rafael Fiziev back in March of 2025 lost in one of the greatest fights in UFC history at UFC 300 against Max Holloway, which could that, he beat Fiziev, he beat Rafael Fiziev, and twice, I believe. Yeah, I think he's fought him twice. Hasn't he? I thought he beat Rafael Fiziev twice. Why do I think it was just the once? Or why am I thinking it was more than just the once? But obviously, Charles Oliveira submitted him. Michael Chandler beat him. Khabib submitted him. We all knew that was going to happen. I was not surprised by that at all. By Khabib beating him, beat Tony. He took Tony's soul away in 2020. Tony Ferguson's soul. That was the shaking of the head, and really one of the more violent fights of the pandemic. And then just cleared out the division of old garbage prior to the Tony Ferguson victory. But yeah, he's his last 5. He is 3 for 2 of his last 5. So Justin Gaethje can be a spoiler. We all know he can be a spoiler, dude. But I don't see him being the spoiler in this. I think we pretty much know Paddy's gonna beat him. I think we all kind of figured Paddy's gonna beat him. Round 3 is kind of generous to Paddy, in my opinion. I think this may go the full 5 because Justin's tough enough to be that person. Justin Gaethje is by far one of Paddy's more tougher opponents that he's fought. That's it. That's all I can really say. Justin Gaethje can be a motherfucker. But it's up to Paddy to show a little bit more maturity here. Kind of pick your spots against a guy like this and be able to sprawl for the takedown defense, and try and just negate that with Justin, throw some knees to the body, and then Justin just needs to be a motherfucker the entire time. He needs to give pressure to Paddy Pimblett hard and so deep. I'm talking John Holmes level deep, kids. That's how bad Justin Gaethje needs to be to really kind of stop the Paddy the Baddy train. And I don't think it's going to stop him completely. I don't think that this is going to be one of those like, oh, Paddy can't do this. Paddy's already shown that he's a badass motherfucker in that cage. One loss isn't really going to like hurt him. But if Justin loses, I think it's time. I really think it's time for him to just be out of the paper or be out of the title picture. He can be a guy to take on young lions coming up if he wants to. It's cool. But, like a Michael Chandler, and like a lot of the guys from the lower tier organizations who have signed with the UFC, Justin Gaethje has been one of those guys that has not really panned out as a world champion. You know what I'm saying? Like an actual world champion. So, and I'm talking unified. I'm not talking interims. That's not the championship. An interim belt has never been the championship, and it will not compare to being a world champion. So it's one of those, you got to just kind of put him out to pasture a little bit. Let him fight once a year until he wants to retire. And Justin Gaethje, if he loses to Paddy, because Paddy could fuck his world up, and you never know exactly what kind of guy we're gonna get out of Justin Gaethje. But I'm gonna give Justin Gaethje his flowers here. Badass, it's a badass dude. But can he hold off Justin or Paddy Pimblett through 5 rounds or submit him? I don't see it happening. But they're both the same height, pretty much. I think there's like an inch difference. But I do not see Justin Gaethje beating Paddy Pimblett by any means outside of Paddy fucks up. Because Paddy's game plans usually are perfect, on point. And Justin's, a little Tasmanian devil with a wrestling tattoo. So we shall see. Woo! Yeah, I'm gonna play some bets. I'll post those bets on Instagram and YouTube for you guys to join in on me or join in on the picks. So I'm excited. I'm very excited for UFC 324 this weekend, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena. We finally have high-level mixed martial arts back live. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to end the podcast. I know I put a couple things on there, but my stomach's rumbling. I want to talk about this before we go. And if you missed my talking on the UFC, there'll be some timestamps for you in a little bit once the video is shown. But I got Paramount Plus. I didn't realize that The Running Man was a Paramount Plus or a Paramount property, by the way. And I'm talking about the original with Schwarzenegger, Jim Brown, all that. Got to watch that. Realized The Running Man was coming to Paramount Plus. So I watched the entire thing. I watched a lot of it and thought things and, whatever. But I wanted to give a full-on review of The Running Man. Oh, I forgot about the Tank Davis thing. I should bring that up. Let's go back to that, actually. What am I doing? I wanted to talk about Tank Davis getting arrested. We'll talk about Running Man in a sec, but let's talk about Tank Davis getting an arrest warrant put on him. If you haven't heard the story, apparently boxing great Tank Davis is on the run right now from the law, and not really, going to give himself up here. Which, sure, good for Tank for being that way. Good for that, but the story's kind of wild. Let's go to for WBA. An arrest warrant has been issued for WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Tank Davis in connection with an alleged domestic violence dispute stemming from October. So he's been gone. I think that's also why the Jake Paul thing fell through. Is he's been on the run from this whole thing. And police held a news conference Wednesday. MGPD, Miami Gardens Police Department Executive Emmanuel Jante stated that they are working with U.S. Fugitive Marshals Task Force to find Tank Davis. They got the marshals out for this motherfucker right now. That is wild. Like, that is insane. At this time, MGPD is actively working with U.S. Marshals to apprehend Mr. Davis, Jante said. Jinty? I don't know. Domestic violence is a serious crime, as it is, and the Miami Gardens Police Department remains committed to holding offenders accountable and protecting victims. Okay, and here's the incident. Took place on October 27th at a gentleman's club in Miami Gardens, where the woman worked. A lawsuit was filed days after the incident by his ex-girlfriend. Just won't say her name. You can read it on the screen. In the lawsuit acquired by ESPN, Davis was alleged to have entered the gentleman's club. Why not just say fucking strip club? Where Roselle worked as a VIP cocktail server. It's actually going to kind of put into what the Running Man is. And attacked her in a back room of the club that did not have cameras. So he knew that they didn't have cameras in there. Or she did. You never know, but I think Tank's a bit of a wild card. Davis allegedly grabbed the woman by the back of her head, pulling her with one hand and holding her throat with another. So he's forcibly choking her, dragging her through a stairwell, kitchen, and the back exit before physically assaulting her in the parking garage. A strip club with a parking garage? That's interesting. I'd love to see that structure. You can park here and see titties. She was eventually released to a coworker by Davis and suffered bruises on her left arm. Okay. Police reviewed surveillance footage from the club, and it corroborates the woman's story. Investigation determined Mr. Davis used force to restrain in an attempt to remove the victim from the location against her will. I'm not surprised that this is going on. We'll keep more into it because they haven't made an arrest yet that I'm aware of. It's not clear Dave's alleged misstep violates his probation stemming from the Baltimore case, which was a hit and run. He had 3-year probation and had 90 days house arrest. So he's been in trouble in the last 4 years. Has Tank Davis, and I'm going to keep an eye on this story. We'll have more about it. Hopefully, I'll have some stuff to talk about on Saturday before the UFC pay-per or freemium live event on Paramount Plus. So yeah, Tank Davis on the run right now. I think it's probably why we didn't get Tank versus Jake in that little scenario. So Tank Davis be fucking up, dog. Hardcore. All right. 2025 film. There we are. Oh, I don't want that there. There we are. The Running Man. All right. So I watched The Running Man last week when I had some time. and I want to talk about it. Here's my review. All right, it's rating movies. We have The Running Man 2025 edition. Now, I'll say this right off the rip, guys. I absolutely love the old Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's one of my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. It's above Predator. It's above a lot of movies in the Arnold Schwarzenegger pantheon of movies that dudes watch to make themselves feel more manly through Arnold Schwarzenegger. Fucking love that movie. It's got Jim Brown, Jesse Ventura. It's got a bunch of amazing actors, and then you also have Maria Conchita Alonso, who was added. She was not actually like there, but she wasn't in the book. But the woman that she's based on does get lied about, does get kind of fucked with in the movie, does Maria Conchita Alonso. Paramount announced this, I think, in 2022. I'm pretty sure they announced that they were going to be having a remake of The Running Man. With what's the guy's name? What's the cast? Glenn Powell, who I'm not sure who Glenn Powell is. I'm not like a guy who's up to date on a lot of things. He was in Top Gun 3, apparently. He was in The Dark Knight Rises. He did some. He's been in some movies. I mean, he's been in some really good movies. Don't really know the dude that much, to be honest with you. He was in Spy Kids 3 Game Over. So if you're a fan, he's also in the new Twisters that came out. So he's like a hot kid, or a hot commodity right now on in Hollywood. But watched the new Running Man, spent the whole movie thinking a few things. One, I do love the fact that they tried to sort of make this about union busting, which the original book and story, that was sort of the whole thing. Ben Richards got, kicked out of unions and blacklisted because he was fighting other people. And in the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, he was an officer that was part of a food riot. That's the original movie Ben Richards, right? But this movie actually sticks a little closer to the book. Has the wife of Ben Richards is a hostess at a big corpo club, and they tried to like make it where it's like they were trying to bust up unions and they were trying to do this and they were trying to do that. Really like trying to point at Republicans in this movie hard. Like there was a lot of stuff that the right loves to do, union busting, all that kind of shit. But also for some odd reason, there was no real thought going into the media aspect of this movie, because it tried to talk about, misplaced media power, like the book says, like even the first movie was trying to do. The only problem was they tried to really make this sort of like that left-wing policy is going to be the reason that the media comes down, when you also have to realize that a lot of the media is left-wing. Like a lot of the media of today is left-wing. Even the original Running Man movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger screams of what's going on today in today's media landscape, where a lot of it is just kind of throw a reactionary thing out there, blame the wrong person, or blame the actions of the state on one person, and then everybody gets mad and tries to take down the system when we really don't even know what the true system is. This movie was a lot more gory and violent than the original because you can put CGI in there. A lot of the kills were fucking amazing. Ben Richards was kind of, I think, a little bit more. He was a pawn in the story more than he actually was the story of the rebellion, because there's a few vague things of, did Ben Richards survive? Did he not? Did he help kill Killian? All this kind of stuff, and the book stops on the plane crash at the end. Spoiler alert: if you don't have Paramount Plus, sorry, but the plane crash that's in the book that goes into the network towers is almost shot for shot what is described in the book. He fights off the guards. He does all the stuff. He figures out who McCone is, and we have our ending, which is Ben Richards, while dying, taking himself into the plane, and life's over. But I did, and there's characters in this that are a bit weird. There's a guy that does counter media to the network through videotapes, and they're pretty cool edited. They got kind of a YouTube-y kind of feel to it. You can definitely tell modern stuff was influencing the story or the actual presentation of what the Running Man would be today, and actually it's set in 2025 as well. So we've gone past the Running Man already. And that's just called Survivor. That's what Survivor is the Running Man. But all in all, good movie. Kind of figured some things out through the story. The girl, let me kind of bring this back. The girl that becomes the Confederate, Amelia Jones is her name. She was in Coda. Horrible Histories, don't know that. She's been in some what looks like smaller productions. So the Coda, and because I've heard of Coda, but the Running Man's kind of heard like big coming out movie, if you will. I should stop sharing that. All right, there we are. Perfect. But all in all, I give it 3.5 stars. Really good movie out of 5. I give it 3.5 stars. It wasn't knock your socks off. I was really glad I didn't have to pay for this, and I could stream this through my Paramount Plus subscription. And it's a great movie. I'd suggest, if you have Paramount Plus, go check this out. Go check this movie out, because it's gory. It's got a great use of technology in a complete and utter post-apocalyptic hellscape, and kind of shows you what could and what we're kind of leaning to at this point. But go check it out. I'd recommend it. I wanted to hate it. I went in wanting to hate it because it's a modern take on a great film. But the message is still there. The message will always be there. And it's a message of anti-big government. That's what that movie was about. Or that's what the book's about. It's about taking down that kind of system. The ending's a little weird. I'm not going to spoil any kind of real ending because the plane crash is, again, there's vagaries in this movie. Did it really happen? Is he thinking all of this? What is going on? And there's a few kind of like, he gets really mad, and his anger kind of like gives him, death fantasies, but then he actually like wakes up. It's an interesting movie. Like I said, I'd recommend it. I'd recommend this movie to anybody, even if you're going to rent it off of some other digital service, it's worth the $3.99. Or you can just buy Paramount Plus for, $60 a year and get the, basic package and watch it that way. Cause it's worth it. It's actually a worthwhile movie. I've been sort of on a bad slump of movies lately, but Running Man actually was pretty good. Not gonna lie, it was a nice departure from some of the movies I've seen recently, except for Marvel movies, because I just go into those with my brain completely off. Whew. All right, kids, I've been on for an hour and a half. We talked a lot of UFC tonight. We talked Running Man as well, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm gonna bring myself back out into the troll farm, and gonna say goodnight to you. I gotta be up. I haven't really been sleeping well lately. So I gotta try and get some sleep. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the show tonight. Thank you all for watching. January 24th, live on YouTube. You will see my happy face talking about blood. 5 p.m. 5 p.m. That is when we're going to be getting together to watch UFC 324 from the prelim to the main event. We're going to be here talking about UFC 324. We're going to be making predictions. Goat milk has already been filled out. So we're getting ready. The big push to the next thing on this channel, main card madness. 5 p.m. on the 24th. And I got to tell you guys, I appreciate you every single time. We're getting ready for a big 2026. I can feel it. And if you enjoyed the show, give it a like, give a share, give a subscribe. And as always, I have to tell you, no matter what political affiliation you have, no matter what religious belief you have, we can all come together under the one true words that I speak, or the true words that I speak, which is everybody gets bugs. Thank you guys very much. Y'all have a great night. See you Saturday for UFC 324.